All right, test one, two, three. All right, looks like we're good. We'll get started here in about 6 minutes, guys. Just kind of hanging out over on YouTube as well if you want to go over there and watch instead, depending on where you work. I know that some of you are limited where you can log in from. Just a couple insights for today. I sent out a chart from the 2021 looking into 2022. Just kind of going over that and reminding you guys this is the second year in a row that last year was really nice because we were able to project that move to the upside, which was really nice. So last year, just to kind of go over this, was a lot different, right? So last year we didn't have a projected move down. We had only a projected move up, whereas this year we had an if this, then that. And I wanted to read that to you just in case you haven't had time to come over and look at that, or you didn't look back at the archive charts that we sent out again at the beginning of the year. So these are the notes. After such an explosive move in 2021, I have to admit that I'm hesitant and not surprised that I'm feeling a bit more cautious this year. In January, we can see that there was an inside candle thus far, and we know that those formations are built off of this inside candle, right? So inside and up, inside and down, and we could see here on the quarterly, and this is the same thing that we saw on SMH, just so many charts. The quarterly chart was the chart to go to. So in 2021, when I started taking a look, I had to figure out like what chart is going to be the chart that gives me that crystal ball, right? And I know that it's difficult for a lot of traders because a lot of traders don't believe that you can forecast price just by looking at structure, but it is true. It's very true. We know that, and training members know that here as well. Sometimes timing is the variable, right? So some of the things that I said is that this year is if this then that approach. So different than last year. Last year we basically again just had that upside target. I strongly feel this is a year of patience and ability to adapt. I try my hardest to be one step ahead by understanding that I know how to read a market and I have to trust that. The bearish side. If price closes January below the 46.23, I'm looking for the possibility of an overall pullback of 9 to 16%. From there, I believe we can enter a patient market. Not that we aren't right now. Okay, and those are again my notes from the beginning of and the end of 2021. So you can see here what I'm looking at, and I just kind of want to go over this with you. Is we were riding on this inside candle. We were extended from the quarterly cloud, so we had this EMA cloud that when we look at it from the past, this has always been a great buying opportunity. I shouldn't say always, but for a very long time now, since around here in 2000, it looks like, let me make sure I get my dates right here, 2011. All right. Ever since the cloud has just basically held support, and anytime that we've come into this cloud, it's looked like a really good opportunity to buy. 2020, we had the COVID pullback, and you could see we dipped in there really deep. But once we reclaim that cloud, again, just taking those easy rules really to follow as long as we're over the cloud, look to go long, you could see that this paid off very nicely if you stayed long. This year is a little bit different. So when we create the inside and down structure, what I'm looking for is I'm looking to the left, and this is just some basic supply and demand rules, and I'm looking for structure. And I'm looking for structure that shows that a lot of buyers have stepped in, and we're looking for institutional buying, right? We don't want to look for your normal indicators. I'm looking for structure. When I look down into the left, I don't see a whole lot. What I do see is the cloud, and that's where we are right now, okay? Then I created this target, which was a projected extension for 2022 if we were to see the downside. Now, please do understand that although it did work, it looks like to the tick, that price can still move down into here, but I myself am not expecting a move lower than this box. Okay, so that gives us 3,586 right now. The initial move off of the box or a buy zone has worked. And that's what you're seeing here. All right. But far as range is concerned, that's probably the most important thing I want to talk about. When I look at the inside and down here on the quarterly, I think of range. Like, where is the high and where did the low come into? Now, when I look at this, in my personal opinion, this range is not very big, right? So it would have to uh, look something like that. If we continue to stay up here, we are range bound. I believe as long as price stays underneath the body of this candle, we will stay in this pattern for quite some time. It could be a year, it could be 2 years. I'm not exactly sure at the moment, but what I can tell you is that it looks range bound. Now, if we were to have a sharp correction into the inception of this move, which would be pretty nasty, something that I wasn't projecting, but it's okay. I'm okay to be wrong. This would be the first year that my projections would be wrong, but it would be that we break down below and we would come into this area here, which is called the inception of the move. All right, so you'd have something like this. And then I would have to tell you that the range itself from the previous high or the inside and down, which is right here, into the inception of the move, now that is range. And that sort of range would really set up for a beautiful trading environment, in my opinion. Okay? Now, again, I don't want to see that happen personally. I do feel like we're prepared. Like, for example, coming in this morning, I'm 99% cash because I just don't trust the market. And I don't think a lot of you trust the market. It's getting pretty quiet out there. It's quiet all over. And I think people are exhausted. I think the best way to approach this is what I've been practicing probably for the last couple weeks, and that is to have some rules that you are following, whether that means you get stopped out by certain percentages, allocation is smaller, what you put into an options trade is what you're willing to risk. Far as equity goes, are you scaling in? Do you understand the bigger picture? Are you just intraday trading? We've had a lot of folks who just went straight to intraday trading. So it's like, hey, by the end of the day, I'm out of all my positions, and that's been working for them. Everybody is different. All right. Now, today we wake up, and I do have a set of notes that I want to talk about really quick, and I'm just going to read those to you. Every morning, I do what's called a trendy update. I like to give charts, give you kind of the plan for the day, and also what I feel is my biggest driver for the entire market. And again, I've been doing this for a long time now. And if the ES futures are coming into a buy zone, I'm looking at going long on stocks and so forth. If the ES is giving me sell signals and we're below the cloud, I'm looking not to do much. Okay, so let's go over that real quick. This morning, I say overall markets are red, while energy and my local gas prices are exploding to the upside. That's right. Gas is something that's probably here to stay for a little bit, especially as we get into summer and folks start to travel even more. I do see this as a seasonality thing. I do think that oil will come back and that gas prices will reduce at some point, but I don't know exactly when that will be. What I do know, though, is that they are higher than they were yesterday. My plan, as far as the ES goes, is we are on a inside and up far as the daily is concerned. And let me go ahead and show you that. So inside and up, this was what gave me the confidence to be in long positions yesterday. We pushed up towards a target, and then this morning, here we are inside again. I just want you to notice the structure that we're looking at. This is an inside and up, and now we're inside. After the market moves up, okay, we like to digest. Yesterday, I think the market, ES futures, when I say the market, gave us roughly about 85 points. That's a pretty big move. Anywhere from like 65 to 100 is a pretty big move, and a lot of times the market wants to digest that. Now, notice over here, they've already pretty much given it half of it is pulled back. You don't need Fibonacci's to see that. You just need to understand the number and then look at it and go, okay, we pull back halfway. Now, that halfway point is typically a buying area or the 618 of the Fibonacci's. I have a couple buy zones on here that I want you to go ahead and just look at, and you can annotate that and just see how these levels work out. Okay, my first level is down here at 40.31, and 4010. So if you guys use volume profile or something like that, you want to see if this matches up. Most likely it does. And then as you look down to the downside, if for some reason we break down below that, which I would be surprised, we could head back down into 39.68. Okay. So those are my two zones that we're working with today. Basically, I'm looking for buyers to show up here. Let's go ahead and create that setting here for entry. And what that's going to say is entry on reclaim. So even if price falls into there, if it keeps falling at a fast rate and it doesn't reclaim, then I don't do anything. I just let it keep coming in. Okay. Let's see. I got those buy zones I just went over with you. And my overall sentiment, though, today is sideways and chop after the big move up. So my overall sentiment is just to kind of chill out, guys. Unless price breaks over yesterday's high, which would be a good thing if you're in some longs. Call credit spreads might be a good idea for today if we get a nice little pop into resistance, and we'll go over that here in a second on some smaller time frames. And then let's see here, working on down. My plan, although I want to see a continuation, I have come to the reality that the long side is shorter lived than I want nowadays. So saying that, I decided to trim and close my bigger portion of my exposure yesterday, and I'm coming in this morning with 99% cash, and I am in no rush to be right here. Okay, so let's keep it really simple. I said this year would be a year of patience, and that it is. I just showed you my projection for 2022, and hopefully you guys have taken note from that when I sent that out earlier in the year. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at a smaller time frame. So this is really going to help you out, as it should. And if you don't have the exponential moving average cloud, you really should get one because they can help you out extremely. Notice that on the 4-hour, we're getting back into the cloud, and anytime we get into that cloud, it's not really a nice thing. But here's the thing: if you don't know how to take several different tools and bring them synergistically together, you could find yourself at a disadvantage. And what I mean is, I see some people out there that say, hey man, this is really neat, I have a really clean chart, and all I'm simply using are, the EMA cloud. And let me just give you an example. All right, let's do a couple shapes on here. I could easily come over here and put some rails on this thing, right? And I'm just gonna put this on here, and just like that, and you can see I could sit here and say, well, if it breaks the cloud and if it breaks the rail, I'm going full on short. But if you're not able to read structure and you don't understand where supply and demand are, you'd be going short right into a potential buy zone here, and you would get wicked out and price would move against you. Okay, and we teach you all that. We teach you how to use Fibonacci's, how to use chart patterns, how to find structure, how to use the exponential moving average, and then we have these really cool things called trendy edges that help you find supply and demand. Basically, it is a playing field. They're not exact, but they help you to understand where price is going to turn around and where buyers are going to show up for the upside. Notice that price is pushed up into one of our edges. We slowed down, we pulled back, we broke above that edge. We almost hit our target, and then we pulled back underneath the edge again. As long as price is staying below today, 40.80, I would expect price to continue down. All right. Again, right here though, let's see if buyers kind of swoop in on the open. So we could be opening into support when the bell rings. Okay, this market's been very interesting. I wouldn't say very interesting, it happens all the time. Future traders, which I do trade futures, have the advantage of the market in my opinion, especially this year. Most of the big moves have happened overnight, and then when you wake up, retail traders, I say retail, I'm retail as well, let's say non-future traders, they're waking up to a very tight range. And if you didn't trade futures, guess what? You're kind of stuck. But you need to understand how to read that range, because coming into the day, it could really save you a lot of time. Here where I live in Florida, we live on the water, and I really want to spend my time at the beach. So we joke around a lot, but the beach trade is probably the most trendy thing that you can do. I don't want you sitting in front of the screens all day. I want you to learn how to read the market so that your time away from the screens can give you some sort of zen moment, right? We don't have to watch every tick. You just need to understand where price is going. Just like I tell my members, there's only two things that can happen in trading. One, you're going to lose money. The second thing is you could hit your target and make some money. But the sure thing with trading is you will lose money in the market. But in order to make it less probable, right? And you to become a better consistent trader, I'm going to teach you how to find these levels where really trading off of these levels can be the best idea for you for to make that next best trade. Okay, so just know that. So we're getting very close to the box here, and we'll see how that reacts. I'll go ahead and actually just set an alert here as we move away. And I'm going to take you to a longer or a bigger approach. This was the weekly, guys. And remember, this is the divergence that we're looking at. This is an inside candle. And so far, I am projecting that this will be an inside week. Now, what that means for me, it needs to stay inside the body. You can see that the current candle, although we're down 48 points, we are still inside. And by the close on Friday, all I care about is whether or not this candle closes inside the previous week. If it is, guess what? It will be the first candle in a matter of 6 weeks. One, let me count this for some of those guys out there that don't know how to read charts. Just to let you know, this is 6 weeks down, okay? I'm hearing all kinds of stories that we had something like this, in 2011 or something. There was no such thing. We had inside candles during that phase. This inside candle will interrupt it, okay? And this is a very good start for a potential either inside and up or inside and down. All right. So again, this is my biggest concentration on Friday close. Will we close inside or not? All right. And that's going to make, actually, it's going to make the next week a little bit easier to trade for a lot of folks. Promise you that. All right. So there you go. Inside candle for right now. And again, the daily pushed up into the cloud. That cloud has been resistance for quite some time. It was looking pretty good, and now you wake up this morning again at that 48 points down. Okay. All right, let's look at a couple other things. Maybe let's look over here at Target. I love stuff like this because, while everyone's freaking out on any sort of big pullback, I want to know, where are you going? And I'm looking for structure. It's at $161, okay? In my opinion, all right, looking at this, I would tell you this. With the trendy edges, the bluer ones, these are a larger time frame. These are for more your swing trading and your leap trading when it comes to options, swing trading when it comes to equity. I want to see price lower on the curve, meaning lower towards that blue line or below it, okay? And then I look at the previous edges to look for targets and so forth. All right, so this down here puts me at 177. I'm going to take you to a 4-hour just so we could see. Okay, just like this. And you can see this orange line. That's where current price is. Okay, so I'm going to take you to a quarterly. And I want you to see this. This is awesome. I love this kind of stuff. All right, check this out. So from the rally itself, from the inside and up, all the way into the topping wicks, which is a very important video that I put out on my YouTube page. Please watch it. All right, this is really going to help you. This tells you right here. You don't need to know anything else. Topping wicks are trying to tell you that sellers are in control, and honestly, you don't want to be trying to trade in here unless you're trying to sell spreads and so forth to the upside. That's just my opinion, or you're intraday trading. All right. So this in itself, the topping wicks told you, hey, it's a very difficult market. Plus, I mean, look at this run. The rest of the market has really pulled back. These guys aren't going to continue to move up. That's just not how the market works. Let's go ahead and put some fibs on here. We go from the rally itself into the pivot high. And with the current price, you could see that we're sitting right at the 618. I don't need to go any further. If you know anything about Fibonacci, you know that this is probably the most important level at or around 158.76. It could be off a little bit, so let's just say 158, 159 price. Okay, this is the golden Fibonacci. This right here says if we were to break that level and actually close below it, that the trend itself that I just measured is absolutely compromised. But although it's pulled back so much and it's getting so much attention, guess what? It's not broken. All right. Matter of fact, at this point, it's a buying opportunity if we can hold that. But after a big fall like this, I like to at least wait a couple days. All right. So let's wait a couple days and see what it's doing. The other thing that I want to do is go over here and investigate this area. So the way that we're going to do that is we are going to mark this area. You can do it however you like. with a little circle. All right, and then I'm going to drop the time frame, several time frames, and I'm going to look for structure. And guess what? I can't make this up. I break it down, and this made it easy. Sometimes I have to break it down to several. I break it down immediately, and you can see here on the monthly we have an inside and up formation. This tells me that there are buyers in this area. I like to see how target reacts here. Okay. Now that buying area, just to be clear, is from, it's pretty wide. It's 143 by this level that I gave you a few minutes ago, 158, 159. So it's a bigger area. And again, it's going to take a little bit of time. Anytime you have a big pullback like this, the sentiment changes. You shouldn't expect like this huge rally right away. Sometimes it happens, but most of the time you need sentiment to come back in. All right. Plus, inflation's hitting the numbers. I don't need to go into fundamentals with you guys. You guys know stuff is expensive. I've always messed around and told you that as soon as I noticed Taco Bell was selling their number 3 special at $9, I knew then things were real. Okay. Also, being out here on the water, I do a lot of stuff with wood, building the dock and stuff like that. And everybody knows, prices have gone up extremely high. Okay. Speaking of, when I think about wood, I think about Home Depot. Let's go over there and see what's going on. They're down $6. Yesterday, they were down, they were up 9, maybe 12, and came all the way to red, to down, to green. And so it was pretty dramatic. All right. Now, I'm going to take off those, and let's just see. Current prices in the cloud on the monthly, topping wicks everywhere. It's not the prettiest chart. Now, seasonality, I would tell you, over the last several years into spring and Mother's Day were the best times to buy Home Depot. It's like would never fail. It was such a great swing trade, and this year the market is just completely different for everyone, and including all names. What do I like here? The bigger picture. I wanted to see it push up a little bit here. It's a product of the market today. If the low holds, I do think that we're rounding out here, and that price could move and make its way back up towards 333. If not, I do expect demand down here towards 268. So 270 by 265 to the downside. All right, 270 by 265 to the downside. All right, and then I would expect some buyers to show up in this area. All right. All right, so there were some good earnings out there. So I want to give you guys some positive news, okay? And let's take a look here for some positive news. All right, so we had some ERs out there, and some of them look pretty good, like DLO. All right, currently up about $2. It's a $21 stock, not my favorite. Good ER, but I mean, the chart is like, hey, do you really want to buy this thing? Not a lot of people do. There's obviously right here at the trendy edge a lot of resistance. That's further up at 34. I don't personally like this name unless it can get over the wick here of 24.56. So regardless of what their ER looks like, I'm not interested unless we start to get over 24.5. Let's go ahead to the next one, which is going to be ZIM. All right, now this chart looks a little bit better than the rest that we see out there. And let's go to a weekly. All right, nice rounding bottom off of the trendy edge here. All right, looking pretty good. Inside and up currently on the week, but still we're underneath the trendy edge here. And I would expect resistance there until proven otherwise. So this is a no-go for me unless we start to build value above 67.13. 1 second, I apologize. As long as we start making value above 70.40. This is an inside and down here. This is structure of supply. Be careful in this area. And plus, when I look at that, can we still have a trade? Yes. If price can hold above 63.5, we can see price push up into 70.40. So there is a trade there. It's about what? A good $3 off. We could see $3 to $4 to the upside. Okay, and the risk would be it's a 1-for-1. It's a 1-for-1 at this time. But I do like this. It looks better than the last chart that I just showed you. The next one is going to be ADI again. Just to understand, these are very good ER beats, ADI, and that's just my opinion. And topping wicks. All right, notice all the topping wicks, a lot of supply structure here at the trendy edge. And that's exactly what the trendy edge is supposed to do. When price is under it, look for it to be resistance. When price comes down to it, look for it to be support. And you can see it's working very well. Now, current price, this is funny. The pre-market, you see it with the orange line. It's right at the trendy edge. So this gives me a great trade plan right when we open up, and it is this. If price cannot break over that trendy edge, then guess what? Then I don't really want to be interested. So I need to see price above 167.5, build value there on the intraday, and we could see prices move up towards 171 and potentially 172. All right. So again, you could put, an alert here. I prefer it to resist here, just like it has over and over, and let it pull back into the 163 area to see if maybe it pulls back and fills that gap. All right. All right. So that's what's going on there on ADI. Now let's look at some popular names. All right. Here's Apple. Inside week so far, it's down $2.45. I know a lot of people want to like short this thing, but to me, it's an inside week, just like I was showing you on the ES futures. And as long as it stays inside, then I wouldn't be too concerned. It is currently underneath the body structure, which is under 147. And as long as it stays under 147, you could see it come back down to 142. Now, again, I want to reiterate the ES futures are coming into an area of support before open. That means when this happens, all right, we look for a bounce on open. Okay, look for a bounce. And let's see. We're very close. We're trying to get there. We're almost to my level. All right. It's rare that we don't hit my levels. Sometimes we do. We do not. And that's okay too. I just don't do anything. All right. You may have different levels than me. You may be trading something completely different. And if you are, that's okay. What I will tell you during this time, try your best to only trade your levels. Okay? Try your best to only trade your levels. Don't speculate. Wait for price to come into your level, whatever you do. Because if you're trying to speculate, then you're basically not following your rules or your levels, and you're just kind of going blind out there. All right? All right, so we have about 9 more minutes to go here. Let's look at a couple other. Tesla. We want to look at the higher time frame here because it just keeps acting a little funky. It's down 16, was up 37 yesterday. I want to at least be looking at a monthly chart here. And you could see, same thing. We are absolutely range bound. And we're range bound. Check out the trendy edges came up, was resistance until proven otherwise. I prefer to see Tesla at 635 by 620. That's where I'd be more interested to the upside. The even better move would be 400, guys. So Elon, get me back to 420. I like it down there as well. All right. Also, VIX expiration today as well. Speaking of the VIX, let's go ahead and look at it. We use a blueprint to kind of help here at Trendy Trading to understand. And this entire time, I gave you this blueprint months ago and said, listen, the U.S. stock market needs VIX to stay under this level. It never broke above that level. Matter of fact, I want you to see the importance of the trendy edges, even using the VIX, the volatility index. Okay. And notice that every time the VIX came up into the trendy edge, it sold off. Well, that is a big tool that helps me understand that if I'm worried and I'm watching the skew and I'm watching all the levels that I'm showing you, this tells me right here we could see a pullback and the market could start to rise. So in this type of bear market that we're experiencing, where everybody's selling the reps, as soon as volatility gets into this area, I'm looking at a couple other instruments to understand that this may be a good time for an intraday long or a couple day long. This market's been weird. It's only given us a couple days at a time. But still, this really helps out. And I will tell you this with confidence, as long as my yellow line that I, again, put there a long time ago, continues to resist, I'm not too concerned. All right. This is the new norm up here. This is the new norm. So as long as we're hanging out underneath that edge, I feel okay. But as soon as the VIX starts breaking over 36, 35 and a half, things start to look a little bit different, especially if a weekly candle or something starts to close over that. Okay. And that's what it looks like on the weekly, folks. Pretty cool. All right, so there's your volatility. Let's go ahead and go over the dollar DXY. This is very important as well. This is the same chart that I keep giving you. Notice that the dollar has pulled back into this red zone, which is what we want to see. But it is currently up at the moment. Let's go over here to the 4 hour, and it's back above the zone. Let me take some of these lines off to make it a little bit cleaner for you. This was a supply zone on a higher time frame, and it started to move out of here. And basically, my notes were stay cautious as long as we're over 103.8. That was my number this entire time. As soon as price broke down there, you notice that the market started pushing up. All right, well, now the dollar's trying to bid a little bit. All right, and just like a good stock that's moved up, it needs to digest a little bit. So as long as the dollar continues to stay under this area 103.8, then just let it do its thing. I think ES may be coming into a little bounce area. I think the dollar may be pushing up into a little bit of resistance here on open. And then that leads me to the SKEW, which is the skew. And we want to monitor this on a weekly chart. I have this really simple for you so that you understand where your risk on area is and where your risk off area is. Notice that before the week started, the skew came down into risk on. I let the folks know that it was a risk on, especially because I felt like we were coming into a little bit of demand. That worked for a couple days, but again, like I said, I'm 99% cash coming into this morning. And because of that, I'm very comfortable. And before we start here, we have 5 minutes. I'm going to heat up my coffee, but I'm going to leave you with this. Please, please. Just understand that trading, most of you started this as a hobby. All right. Some of you did very well for a little bit, and then your expectations went from making $200 a day to then becoming a millionaire. And I want you to just step back and look at reality and understand, and I hope you do understand, that trading is very difficult. This is not something that is a get rich, quick get rich. It takes time, and if you did get rich quick, you probably lost it quickly as well. That's just kind of how the market is. All right. What you trade with on your options, you can control and manage that loss during the day. When you go home at night and the market closes, you cannot manage that. Future traders, you can help to relieve the pain because you got the futures there to kind of help you hedge, okay? But what you pay is your risk. And in this environment with a lot of volatility, if you're going at the money in the money, which is okay, just understand that you could be wrong very quickly. If you go out of the money, you can be wrong very quickly. It's just a very drastic move that we're experiencing. So I like to go back with what you're trading is your risk. Look at your shopping cart. If you have too much in the shopping cart, if things were to go against you, would you be able to stomach that move? If the answer is no, then you got too much on. Always know what your number is. Always know what you're comfortable trading. I always ask every trader, what is your number? I go through that with them. When they give me a number, I have to tell you, I want you to still cut that number in half because most of you, your eyes are bigger than your stomach. I would say almost all of you. Everybody's ready to make money, but as soon as that doesn't work out, it really hurts you. You don't want to be mentally hurt. You want to be able to take a loss mechanically, be okay with that loss, and move on to the next trade. All right, and I really want that for you too. Anyways, good luck today, guys. I know we're going to do great. Just stay patient. If you have anything that you would like to ask me about, let's go over that, and we'll do that. Good morning, Mike. We'll look at TLT just really quick. All right, and you can see TLT came into the green box as well. This was one that you have to look at a monthly or a quarterly. You can see that we came into the inside and up. Price is exactly, we shorted this way back here. Price came into this green box like we planned. It's really come back down to the bottom of the curve. I would expect TLT to probably bounce a little bit here. What I would be looking at is this as a stop under here around a 111.5, and you may see a nice little bounce up towards 118. At 15. So this would actually go back down here. All right, and then again, price would move this way. But it's going to take a little bit of time. That's a sharp sell-off. We have a lot of divergence there. TLT is actually pretty interesting, Mike. I don't know if you were saying you might take a trade there, but definitely Nice, man. I like that. Let's look at the quarterly just really quick. Yeah. I mean, if it breaks that box, then I think you head back down to 106 and 101. That'd be pretty crazy. Okay, cool. Nice, man. To the upside. Right on. BJ's wholesale earnings tomorrow morning, then Casa's on the 26th. Something we definitely can look into. Apple chart when possible. Sorry about that. I was just looking at main chat right now. Yeah, Apple came into the green box, and we did go over Apple. Okay, so and yeah, I have some imposters out there. That's becoming really common here lately for a lot of people. So it looks like I have some imposters on Twitter and on Instagram. That's kind of sad, but it is what it is. Even those hustlers out there trying to make some money by saying they're other people, just insane to me. Yeah, man, just means you're getting popular, right? Oh, also, I have a short on Roku. You guys know that. I have the butterfly. And let's see, what's that look like right now? That could end up paying very nicely. We're like right there in the sweet spot. Just need it to not like drop too much. Need to drop a little bit more. Need it to go under 95. So we have 95 by 90 by 85. It's positive right now. Very close. Good. All right. Netflix was a complete bust for me this week. That did not work out. Market ripped. They didn't. That's okay. And let's go back over here to ES Futures so we can watch that. Just in case we get, a good piece of education in here for you guys. And let's go to the 4 hour. Sorry about that. A lot of stuff going on here. Yeah, so we're almost there. Not quite. Oh, did they? Nice, man. So maybe your plan's going to work there, dip and rip for the long term short. Man, the long term short, I think I'm looking at 150 by 145. Man, I got a bad head this morning, don't I? We know we have family in town, so we've been spending some time on the beach, getting some sun, showing everybody around. Um, I tell you what, it's always interesting to watch people come here for their first couple days, man. The sun really gets to them. But yeah, see, I'm not red or anything. I got Walmart price alert at 130.47. That was probably an area um, that I came across a long time ago. That was important. So my nose is itchy today. And so again, you just wait for your levels. There's nothing to do here. I have several other things I could do for intraday trading, which we could come over to these charts here. The BMY was looking pretty good. Still, we traded this yesterday. Let's see how it does. I may jump back into it in the small account. I have a cash account and a margin account. Depending on what I'm looking at trading, I use different accounts. Alibaba, still, this was a good trade. I trimmed it. And over here, Home Depot continues to fall here. And I would think, some of these retail stores are going to take a hit. Um, I have some debit put spreads for the downside, and I have a long term call trade on this as well. But again, coming in with 99% cash, guys. So and somebody asked me yesterday on the FedEx. I closed that fairly quickly. We did really good. Hopefully, you guys stayed in some of those straight up weekly calls that we had. Those went nuts, by the way. But my spread, I did close. It should have said closed on your end. Let me just make sure when I go there. Yeah, FedEx was closed. I just felt like the market was extended to the upside, so I wanted to kind of jump out. Just not, And let's take a look at Walmart just really quick. I want to see because I had a level go off. Typically, when my levels go off, we start to see some sort of small bounce. Let's see, it was at around 130.47. Okay, so it's just up here towards the edge. All right, so this is letting me know we're underneath the edge now. Let's take a look. What a candle, right? What a candle. Right through the neutral, man. I'm not a huge fan of Walmart. I've traded it several times. I've done okay, but I'm just not a big fan. Look at this engulfing candle. Could you imagine this? I mean, let's just say you bought like here, and you're just sideways for like years. This is 2020. You finally get a break, and you're like, man, this is awesome. I love Walmart. Goes up a whole $8, and then you just lose it all, everything. Just like it's so frustrating. So where can you go from now? As long as we stay below 129, I'd be looking for prices to hit 120, and then that next EMA around 117. So 120 by 115. Should I wear a hat? Sorry to come in here looking like I just rolled out of bed. This is actually a look, guys. This is a beach look, okay? All right, got a little bit of brain wave sort of music in the background. Stay nice and patient. Let's get back over here. Let's see how close we're getting to the box. Very close. Not quite. Nice little bounce, though. We don't have to, like I said, we don't have to touch it, but the whole idea, maybe we're opening up into a little bit of support. It's kind of playing out here. A little bounce. Then on the 5 minute, I could take it over here. We could play my pre-market zone. All right, and this tells you what your risk is. Look at that. That risk is nuts. I'm not gonna mess with. Oh, that's the ES. Sorry. Let's go over here to SPY. No wonder. You alright, babe? My favorite one is there's the box, by the way, guys. Just had to be patient there. And if you notice on the smaller time frame, notice how this cloud continues to be resistance. We're gonna just hold that there. Remember, you don't do anything in here. All right, this is just a target for now, unless we start to reclaim. All right, as long as we drop in here, okay, then we're looking for the bottom of the box or the trendy edge down here at 40.10. All right, it's not one of those blind trades. We have a process around this. And just some of my alerts that you're hearing there in the background. No, just give me, if you would, babe, just bring me a like a paper towel or something. This is probably like honestly, guys, for a zone trading, this is probably one of the best strategies. Is just to know when to take the trade and when not to do anything. And I love the fact when we come into a zone and price just keeps dipping. You know, it keeps you from trying to take a trade that's not going to work out. I will see. Anyways, good morning, everybody. Chamar, Khan, Austin, Ansi, Arthur, Graffy, Javier. Welcome back, Javier. Everybody, welcome back, Javier. He went and hopefully he did some soul searching. We have members that leave sometimes and they take months to themselves and kind of figure out some stuff and do their thing. But man, welcome back. It's great to see you in here. Always been a big supporter. Jennifer, nice seeing you this morning. Kamar, Imbull, Mike, Olong, P Money, Roberto, SM, Justin, Swaghetti, T79, T Camp, Tex, WWT3D. I love that. What would Trendy do? Zaibatsu, Underdog. Hopefully, you guys are not coming in and getting cream this morning. Um, I would hope you guys are doing well. I think a lot of you guys are just intraday trading. This year is interesting. M Bull, I haven't heard from you in a while. I see that you're on. I wonder how you're doing, man. How's futures treating you? Um, let's see. Yeah. Let's see. What do we? You can't trust these moves, can you? They just take them from you so quickly. So quickly. Let's see. I want to make sure on my spread, on my Roku, what are we up here? It's group. There we go. Buyers come in. Some of these things, XLE, let's look at XLE's down a little bit. USO's up only 40 cents. When you start seeing oil pull back, ES pull back, that's an ugly day. The bonds are up just a tad. Mike, let's look at the TLT, man. I kind of like that. Nice push on the open. It's up 17 cents. It's not really that big. Hit an edge. Let's see if it pulls back a little bit. I might buy a long term, man. That's all good, Imbull. I mean, it's a good time to be in on. I had one of our members reach out to me yesterday, and he was like, "John, just want to let you know, man. I think it's awesome that you're spending time with your family." And I thought it was going to be one of those like, "But we really need you." And he didn't say anything like that. He just said that it speaks really good character of me, and that kind of teaches other people that you don't have to be glued into the charts every day. You really don't. Um, During these times, I think it's important we wake up. We know we're range bound. We'll give it, a good hour, maybe 2 hours into European close, and if things haven't changed, we're just not going to do anything. You know, just leave it alone. And let's see. Oh well, you kind of called that, didn't you, Chamar? You said you took a call overnight. Isn't that crazy? Ah, man. You know, so here, listen. I want to tell you this really quick. So it's really easy to get down on yourself, guys. We make some crazy mistakes, don't we, in the market, and they just keep happening. No matter how long you've been trading. I watch some professional traders who've been around for 30 years. They do some crazy stuff too. All right. But I want you to think about when you're taking these calls, are you taking them at the top or are you taking them at the bottom? And if you will, just remember, write this down. Buying calls at the bottom of the curve, towards the bottom of an edge, buying it when it's the most fearful, actually has better risk to reward than buying at the top. Okay? Doesn't mean that it's actually going to work, but I want you to understand that, right? Buying calls at the top is not right. Buying puts at the bottom is not right, unless it's a capitulation event. But we don't know if that's going to happen, do we? All right, unless we get that VIX over the 36. But for right now, I wouldn't be buying puts when the market is down. That's just me. Hey, Mike, do you know what spread you have if you're on the mic? Mike is on the mic. Yeah, it is hard. But just try it a couple times. Say to yourself that you're going to buy calls at the bottom and only buy puts at the top, at the clouds and so forth. Just do it. Do it for a couple weeks and see if your results change. Okay? Remember, you got to take into consideration uh, your number of days of pullback as well, too. Okay? Yeah, I might try to, let's see. Let's see what we think about this TLT. 122 by 126, June 17, low iron condor at 21%. Um, yeah. I personally love the divergence on this monthly chart. I think it could take 30, 60 days maybe. So I might buy some TLT, but really buy a lot of time here. We'll see. But I'll still keep that stop at 111. And let's talk about the. I'm going to do some Fibonacci's here. Kind of help get some targets, some realistic targets, and then we'll do some structure as well. So I'm going to break that down into the weekly. We got the, let's do a daily. Underneath that cloud. cloud. It's not very pretty, man. See how this daily is just following this cloud? I mean, your reward is really tight right now. Let's say we came up and filled this gap, 118 is possible, and then back down. That's from a daily standpoint. On the weekly, obviously like it up towards 120, 121, which is around that target. Um, 60 days out. I mean, my target is 128, but 111 has to hold. All right, guys. So I jumped into 116 by the 125 calls on 15 July, and you could see that in our spreads. I love Trendy Trading, don't you guys? I mean, who else has their brokerage account tied to their channel? Not many people, do they? They just won't do it. But you guys can see what that looks like right here. Okay, and you can see TLT. I bought the 116 by 125s. The price was $2.48, and that's what that looks like. And if you don't like spreads, you could kind of like maybe go in the middle, somewhere around 120 if you like the trade idea. But again, 111 is what I like to see hold here. Let's look over here. Notice that FedEx is starting to bid up. That's nice. And let's go back over to ES and see what's going on there. I think we also have some alerts going off. Oh, there we go. All right, let's just kind of watch it. So what makes me feel like we are range bound, let's go and turn these pictures off, is right here. Let's just go back to basics. We're getting this area right here, which is letting me know that we're range bound. I would not expect price to go over this. Okay, so that makes me think that we are range bound. Everybody understand that? Right there. Right here is an area of support. Let's go ahead and make that green right in here. Okay. And this area is about right in here. We have this big explosive candle that lets me know that there's a little bit of demand there. And so this makes me feel like we are range bound. Okay. I would expect this to be supported, and I would expect this to be resistance. And in these cases, we're looking to buy lower on the curve, right here, and sell up here. All right. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. All right, I'm back here. Let's go ahead and take a look. Nothing's changed. Um, let's see, HD. Let's see, we're rounding out a little bit here on HD coming into the cloud. I expect a little bit of resistance. Bristol Myers, BMY, still hitting that resistance level I gave you guys yesterday. Baba back into the lower demand zone and trying to pop a little bit. Home Depot, again, flat. Let's go over, let's see here. Here's SPX. We also have our SPX bot that gives out trade alerts. And let's see what we got going so far this morning. We had a sell signal at 40.26 and stop price was 40.39. So far that looks like it's working. This one came out on the 3 minute. Let's see. 1 hour. This one's 5. Let's go to 3 just really quick. Boom. Okay, so this one's working for you as well. If you took this trade, this is also working out for the positives. We don't talk a lot about that. I'm sure if there are other people using these alerts, there's a lot to brag about. I think that it's not a good time to be bragging though. People are having a really hard time, so you know what I'm saying. So, anyways, your SPX alerts are doing just great, um, and that short is working out for you. All right, let's go over to some of the futures. Let's see, we're getting some auto future trades in here as well. So far, off Trendy methodology, we have a bot that sends out the entries and stops on certain other instruments. And so we have ES futures short, also NASDAQ short. These are futures NQ and the ES. And those have been short for a little bit here. Good. All right, ES coming into the bottom of the box here. Let's go into a 5 minute. And let's look at our daily edges, folks. So we're going to take off the colors on my charts and let's just focus on the daily edges really quick. When we come into chop, we want to look at the daily edges. They're here. So you can see resistance until proven otherwise, and this is support until proven otherwise. This is the bottom of our box as well. Let's see how we react here. So the only trade I've taken so far is TLT. See if we get a quick bounce to 40.22. All right, raising my stops here on futures. Looking for 40.22. Let's see if we get it. Yeah, notice that we are long there. I was looking for 40.22, so you should be raising these stops here. Got very close to 40.21. All I'm looking for is a structure here, inside and down on this trade. There's your 40.21. Definitely raise stops now. I just want to show you guys what I'm looking for. Is that target right here, right there, that yellow line, and we're almost there. God, man, you want 40.22 and they come up and tag 421 and a half. 40.21 and a half. It's just funny. But anyways, daily edges working great. Notice we got low on the curve here. And so that was the best place to try and take that trade. Now, if it hits my level here, your next level would just be a couple points above that at 40.26. Excuse me, losing my voice there. Sorry. Now I have a long-term BABA that I trimmed yesterday, and I may be looking to add that again. So I'm going to bring that up here. Right now, again, just 40.22. We'll see if we get that. I'll place another alert if we break down below the box. And put BABA on the big screen. Take a look here. Let's look at the daily. It's in the cloud. It's not going to be an easy trade. The weekly basically pushed up into the cloud as well. And you can see the trend here is every time we hit the cloud, we just basically come right back down. There will be a time where we break through that. Just don't know when. All right, guys, we hit our 40.22. You should be out of your trade there or raising stops. So we hit that level. Remember, 40.26 is next. That is the cloud on the smaller time frame. Daily edge is in play, lower on the curve. If we go back to ES futures, just really quick, and we go into the 3 minute, um, and you can see that move. Very nice. Just using our edges here. Remember, guys, I'm not going to say this like every single day. You should already know if you're a trendy member. If we're coming into sideways and down, your daily edges are your focus. Buying lower on the curve, selling higher on the curve. Pretty straightforward. I'm going to also come over here and take a look at those earlier names I was giving you for the good ER beats. DLO, ZIM, ZIM, actually pull back, and then ADI. Yeah, nothing to do here. RBLX having a little day to the upside there. Roku up just a little bit. Upstart, I told you guys that pullback, man, just felt like a gift, and it just keeps on coming, man. Look at this thing. Down into 25 bucks. You've already made 100% off this equity trade. Look for a move today, possibly into 55. Look at this, man. Just absolute beauty. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the butterfly hedge that I had on. Let's go to SHOP. I've not traded this the entire year. Just want to see what it looks like. See, we hit that 40.22 and came right back down, guys. Just use that cloud. ES 39.89 and then 0. Okay. I haven't traded shop, and I like this gap fill up here at 450. Hey, baby. Hey, Aspen. Hey, girl. What are you doing? Hmm? Hey, Parker. Hey, guys. Yeah. I brought their. I have to take them today. I think it's 11:30. Pretty sure, but I'm gonna verify. Yeah. Hmm. I was trying to get filled on that SHOP on the pullback, but oh well. I'll just keep my little stink bit in there. Just a small account trade. Back to that 4021, 4022 level. I think if we start to bid over 40.26, we could get going to the upside. If they push it back over, we'll see. Do any of you guys have how do you are any of you trading from a desktop and you can see my trades or my alerts or notifications pop up on your desktop? Not on the actual like app, but are you getting like pop-ups on your desktop? How do you do that? So like on Ben's server, I'm trying to get them, but I don't get them at all. It's like silent, and I don't have it muted. Yeah, but it should still work even on mine. I think I just have some kind of setting wrong. Okay, and is there something I have to click on? Like a particular channel? Like what if I only want alerts to pop up? I don't get it. Let's see. It says notification settings for that channel. I have it all messages, but maybe there's an area where you have to have used Windows forever. Do you get notifications from apps in general? I don't know. Like I'm trying to. I had his server muted, so maybe it's that. Maybe. Yeah, AMD was really strong yesterday, man. And this ES over 40.26, I think gets going. The AMD did. Yeah, that was a beauty, man. Red to white. Look at that trendy edge, though. Long term swing right at the blue level, guys. Can't make this stuff up. You see it. Yeah, but it must be, Austin, it must be some kind of notification thing that I have set up, man. Trying to figure out what it would be. Let's see. It's got to be notifications. It's got to be. Let's see. Let's go to notifications. Hmm. I see. Okay, there it is. All right, it was notifications. I got it. It's under notifications. So you click the lower user settings, go to notifications, and then enable desktop notifications. So now it should pop up on the screen. And it should be the only ones that I um, have unmuted. So then I want to make sure that. Sweet. So I wonder what monitor, how I get the pop-ups to show up on a different monitor since I have four on this setup. So it's on my very right monitor, but it'd be cool if I could get it to pop up over here. Hey, buddy. How are you? Oh, I did get in the shop. I didn't realize that. That's funny. I put my limit order in. Yeah, we'll see what happens. TLT doing a little shake and bake, baby. Baba's still up too. Nice. You think we'll get 100 here, Austin? I know, Jay, you're looking for 3,900. You on the mic, Jay? I don't think he is. Hey, man, that should be your name, right? Change the old dip and rip to, well, first of all, it's rich. It's rip and dip now. Okay, so your name's wrong. But second, you could be called a 65 to 100. Yeah, well, he should turn it around, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dip and rip was so 2021, bro. See what happens there, man. Yeah. We'll find a bottom sometime, right? And then your name will be cool again. Yeah. Isn't it funny though? The 65 to 100, it really is like probabilities based off of Fib- Fibonacci levels, pretty much. Um, it's an 85% probability. It'd be just like if we were trading something. We break over the 618 and hit that 88.7. Basically, that's what you're looking at. So it could be 65 or 61 to 88. Could be, you know. Mike, what are you doing, man? Are you trading a lot or just kind of sitting on a few positions? Or, let's see, HD, Home Depot. Came right into this area of support. Starts breaking down below there. You can see 284. Bottom in July spaghetti. Hmm. Maybe, man. Maybe. Let's see. You is a out of the money trade. Ben took some. He did at the money, and I missed his entry there, so I went out of the money. So I'm just gonna leave it there in the smaller account. All right, so we did break through that green box. Whoops. Control Z. Let's see if we ever reclaim. So if you guys remember, so we didn't reclaim the green box at all, but we did take a trade down at the edge, and it was good for several points to the upside, which worked out. Now we're below the box, so there's nothing to do for us here. You just kind of sit and wait. You know, look at structure. We have continuation candles, sell-off candles to the downside here, and what we'd like to see for some sort of range come into today, you would see an inside candle close. So we would need to close above 40.15 in a couple hours. And let's see here. Let's see what you got there. ATR. It's been a long time. I feel like I really want. It'd be cool to have a little webinar or something here on the weekends if we could get a couple of you guys, or even on the weekdays, kind of teach you a couple things that you're looking at. It's pretty neat. I'm gonna grab some water real quick. On Square, let's take a look, underdog. Let's see. Looks like it came down into our level. Do you need targets? I mean, the targets would be something, but right there. Yeah, right there. Yep, same buy zone right there. Yep, yep. All right, guys. So your shop is almost 50% now. To see what we can get out of it. Do what you want. And you can see this FedEx came right into that zone there and starting to pop. BMY still resistance. Not much to do. Also, your U is now 60 plus or 64 cents. A lot of whatchamacallit on this. There we go. So we've been consistently making 30% on these trades in the small account. That just keeps paying. So good job there. And that was one of Ben's trades. He actually did a lot better on it. Hey, what's up, Mike? Good, man. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. 408.24. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's difficult. It just feels so choppy. I mean, we're down 76 points, quite a bit. I mean, trying to take over yesterday's entire. What we got here? Yeah, nice engulfing candle so far. Almost. Almost on ES futures. I'm looking to see. I mean, if it breaks down below 4,000, we'll see. Just trying to build up this small account here. Let's see. A little bit of volume coming in on shop on the 400 calls. This, yeah. No, no, wasn't. Go ahead. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Apple's down almost four. But yeah, I really like to see, are we just going to kind of come down and test yesterday's, low and then just pop? I just feel like, I don't know, one, two, three. Some people are calling it like a 3 day rally, 4 day rally, but for me, man, it's a 1 day rally, rest. 1 day rally, rest. It's definitely not consistent, you know. So, uh, what other people count as, I heard this morning, like Scott was saying, "Oh, we have the 4 day rally." I'm like, "That's not a 4 day rally, man. This is a just kind of go and stop." So consecutively, it would be nice to see, some sort of, you know, soldiers, three soldiers, but um, just a pause and reset, man. It's fun to make a little bit of money, jump out, and then wait. It's just the best approach, man. Yeah. I would much rather try calls down here, towards the bottom of this previous candle than go short at the moment. I know. I think that Jay is looking for what I like his his analysis. You and him put together. You guys have some great calls on the downside, man, and the upside. But um, this one's hard from a structural standpoint. The day came right back, and right there, it's testing that bottom, man. It's been a long time since I've seen some tweezers. You know, I don't know if we'll get that. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I know, right? On the inside up. Hmm. Yeah, and the cool thing on this one, Mike, and you guys all know this, basically that buy signal probably started coming in around 40.25. And if you're playing that push over this body, it did really well. If you were buying the buy signal at the top, oof, you know, God, man. This is almost like when I'm teaching, like, say we're trading the future alerts, and I tell you if the risk is too much, wait for it to come back to your stop, which is basically where your buy signal is, right? So in this case, my stop would probably be around 39.80. So now that we're getting closer to the 39.80 area, is where I'm thinking MES, man, micros. With my 10/30 rule, like 10 stop, 30 points for the reward. I like it down here as it gets closer. We'll see. See what happens, man. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, it is. I almost feel like it's like big money is not all the way out. So you can't be all the way out. Like, so my friend was telling me that, used to run a very big fund that, they can't pull everything out. They have to have their clients' money in the market. Yeah. Yeah. But they have to have something in, right? Their clients want to see money. Um, but a lot of money has come out, and so you're just kind of left with retail trading. I'm really curious how the options expiration, like the dailies on the SPX, what kind of effect do they have on the market? I would imagine it has some sort of impact, man. It's got to be more stress, as T Camp was saying. It's got to be more stress on the market makers.